Hi everyone, welcome to Sports Jazz Eyes of Josh and David. We are back in the building. Spurs versus Arsenal over the weekend. Very, very huge match coming up on Sunday. Not that I support any of the teams, but yeah, we are going to dive right into it. We have other major. We have to talk about also Southampton and Man United. We have Liverpool with Nottingham. But first, as always, I have the gentleman, David, aka Mr. Arsenal, the Gooner. Then we have Josh, the one who always hates on anything that is not related to Man United. I'm sorry, guys. And then once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing. Keep subscribing. Sports Jazz, like and share our videos. And yeah, Josh, let's start it off with the game Southampton versus Manchester United. I shout your name because you're a staunch United fan. You want everything for United. The fact that you even say they are competitors of the title, yet we both know they might not even finish top 4. It's laughable.
No,
But
no. I do not know that. You know that, but I do not know that. What I know is Man United. If it is involved in a competition, actually, you only hope that it finishes on top.
yeah, anyway, very, very once again glad to have you guys. Before we roll it, Sinan, good to have you in the building. Hi, David, Isaac, and Josh United. You see what I'm saying, David? I told you,
Hello.
Sinan and Josh are like this. They breathe.
Yeah. No, we're just Man United fans all over the world are proud to be Man United fans. I mean, not many come out and say that I am an Arsenal fan because
of what we
they
saw
just
in
say
Uganda.
no. They just
Fans.
say that. By the way, you know how is Arsenal these days? How is Arsenal?
Anyway,
You know,
let's
when
kick
it
it off,
wins,
guys.
that's when they say the Arsenal fans. But you can see the reception that Andre Onana got when he went to play for Cameroon against Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
in Uganda. In Uganda, Zimbabwe plays its home games in Uganda for the meantime, and Cameroon was held to a goalless draw by Zimbabwe. Cameroon held Zimbabwe to a goalless draw since Zimbabwe was at home, and Andre Onana got the best bit of welcome by Ugandans who are Man United fans. They stormed the pitch. They waited
Josh,
for him after the game. They welcomed him.
Josh and Sinan. We shall come back to the Onana story. But right now, once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Sports Jazz. Isaac, Josh, and David live back, and let's try to dissect the game over that's coming on that is happening on Saturday, where Southampton hosts Man United. One would say it could be another upset coming for Man United, or otherwise, are they going to bounce back after the 3-loss at Old Trafford against Liverpool? And Josh, that goes for you. We've seen rather players are coming back from international duty. Those that have played, of course, you have other players that have not played, but they were training so hard. We saw clips. We saw clips of Marcus Rashford intensely working out. I said the word intense in quotes. Posted. What's your preview about the whole game? What do you expect from Man United? And Ten Hag, how is he going to set up? Because he seems a little bit frustrated. The English media is washing him. They're not they're not allowing him to breathe. Josh?
Yes. Oh, I thought it was David.
No.
Anyhow,
no fun. Yeah.
It is always difficult for the game that is played at midday, just after the international break. It's always a very difficult game because our players are just returning. They maybe have one training session, and they are the first to jump into it on a Saturday at midday. So That game has always been difficult, but it doesn't help that three of your best players have to travel from South America. So that means that they will even have a day less, you know.
Excuses, excuses.
No, I'm just telling you how I see the game because these things have happened before, and we've been fortunate to follow these clubs for quite a while. So we know what happens after the international break, and you have a couple of players coming from South America. They will arrive, say, on Thursday morning, then maybe rest a bit, have a training session, and they'll be in contention for the game. But for the game proper, I do want Eric Ten Hag to pick the most fresh players to be able to be able to play that game. I'm happy that Marcus Rashford did not get involved in the international break because of all our attacking power. I think he's the one in Anthony. They're the ones who stayed back home. But Marcus Rashford looks like the one who can change our fortunes in a game like that, because Alejandro Garnacho and Amad Diallo have to travel back long distances. But this is a must-win game for United, just like almost every other game is a must-win game for United, because we need to get momentum. Southampton is the last team on the log. It has no points whatsoever. It has lost all its three games. Um, they are a newly promoted side that continued to play like they were playing in the championship. They passed the ball around a bit too nicely, but United should have enough power to win the game. I don't think that even Manuel Ugarte should be risked to play such a game.
Oh,
Whomever is there, even Toby Collier should be
Josh,
able to
Josh,
play in that game
Josh,
and give United some
Josh,
steam. Yes.
Josh. I'm sorry, I keep calling you. Did you just say you don't think Manuel Ugarte shouldn't play, or rather, shouldn't get minutes?
No, I said there's no reason for Manuel Ugarte to be rushed back to play this game because
He's
Man
been
United should have
playing,
it.
and he's
No,
been playing.
yes, he's been.
He finished all the
I do
90 games in his
understand you.
last game.
Yeah, and he has played for Uruguay since he was a child. He has played
No,
through all the
Josh,
ranks for Uruguay, the under
before the
10s, the
international
under
break,
15s, the
Josh,
under 20s,
before the
and things
international
like that.
break, Ten Hag was saying he's not yet ready. He might need 2 to 3 weeks. And guess what? As soon as the international break, actually, he did say that statement after the loss against Liverpool 3-0. And guess what? Right after we go into the international break, he's called. And he's not only called, he gets minutes more. The last game for Uruguay, he played 90 minutes against Venezuela. 90 minutes, 4 tackles, 8 duels won, 3 interceptions, 1 clearance, 3 out of 3 dribbles, uh, 83 successful pass accuracy. You know, Josh, come on, really? You still want the disaster?
You
You
should
don't remember
know.
Casemiro?
You should No, you should know that Manuel Ugarte has been playing for Uruguay for the longest of time, and Manuel Ugarte was the best player for Uruguay at the Copa America, which just concluded a few weeks into a few weeks before the season started. So, I mean, he is aware of that environment, and he's good to go. He's ready to go and participate for them. But if you're talking about a player who was just signed for Man United, he needs to adapt to his new environment. He needs to learn one or two things about the players that he's going to play with, and things like that, and that sort of thing. So you don't want to rush the player into a game because you want to see his name on the team sheet. If this player comes and his confidence is shaken on just the first game that he plays, you might just lose the player for much more than the weeks that Eric Ten Hag might have suggested. I would understand if Eric Ten Hag keeps Manuel Ugarte out of this game, given that he will come back, like I already explained to you. but he can give him a few minutes to get into the groove. Then now in the EFL game against Barnsley, he
Yeah,
can come, he can start that game. He can start that game, then get some minutes, then he'll be ready to go into the next game that we play in the Premier League.
Dave,
You know what I think?
Dave, David, I know.
We all
Please tell me you
predicted
don't have.
if I remember clearly, we all predicted Southampton would be relegated. Maybe that was harsh at the time, but the evidence is coming in quickly, thick and fast. So these guys have conceded already 5 goals. They have only scored one in the last three. There is every indication that they are the lowest hanging fruit. Uh, you would call it the shallow end if I were Ten Hag, or even if they're having a conversation with Manuel Ugarte, this would be the perfect place for him to start his, easing into the environment of the Premier League. I would think. This is because if you throw him in against Arsenal, or against City, or against Liverpool, man, that's a disaster. I would think that this would be the best place to just have a feel of what the Premier League is like, because naturally, I believe, regardless of what's happening with the squad at United, this is a game that Ten Hag has a bone to pick. He has to prove himself after this break. People have been, eating him, nipping at him, criticizing him, and all that. So he wants, he would, it's in his best interest to prove something in this game, and you know, I wouldn't see the harm in throwing Ugarte into a fixture with Southampton in the state they're in.
Yeah, you see, the fixture itself is not a problem. I agree with you 100%. It's the sort of game that you would want to throw in a player like, say, Paul Pogba, the time that he came back to United, and he just enjoyed himself that night, and you wish that that's what you were going to get every other day. The thing is, the reasons that I've given for him not being rushed into are purely because he may not be fresh, and we might lose him longer, if he's rushed in under the
But
circumstances.
Josh,
But if he's fresh enough, I don't have a
y-
problem
y-
with him starting the game,
okay,
because
I think
actually we
that's
need
good.
him. But Casemiro can play that game too against Southampton, and he will be just fine.
Okay, okay, so Josh, who would you rather have right now, tomorrow, or rather on Saturday, in your midfield? Is it Casemiro or Ugarte? Don't say
Under
both,
the circumstances, I would have Casemiro or even
bro.
Toby Collier ahead of Ugarte.
Yeah, I think that's
I want to have Ugarte for a longer period. I've seen it before in football where players have been rushed into such situations. Then he has a hamstring injury, or he pulls a muscle, and he pulls a muscle just because he's just had too much fatigue, and the fatigue is not him playing 90 minutes when he goes to Uruguay, but it's the jet lag coupled with the game itself, and all the things that happen that surround that environment. So he just pulls a muscle and is out for 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, we're playing tougher opposition. So why not just sit him out for of the Southampton game? And Eric Ten Hag, you must have enough to. Man United should have enough to beat a team like Southampton, regardless of who plays, whether
they
Ugarte or Toby
they have
Collier are
enough.
on the pitch.
I think it all comes back to the
Yeah.
manager, how he handles, rather arranges or picks and assembles his artillery. Because usually he makes
I
mistakes
know
when.
you'll have his head. You'll have his head for not starting Manuel Ugarte. But for me,
Yeah, to
if
be
Manuel
honest, he's played so well,
Ugarte is
Josh. He's
fit
played
enough,
well.
he should start. But if
Because at
you're not
least
listening to
you
me,
could have no. I'm listening. I'm listening, Josh.
no,
But
you're not
it's
listening to me,
very hard to
because if you're
understand if
listening
a
to me,
player.
I'm not
We
talking
know the
about
risks
the
that
guy's performance.
Josh.
I'm not talking about the performance of Ugarte. I'm talking about what can happen because of the environment that he's from. I don't think he
Well,
can be
well,
fresh.
well
I don't
that's
think he
that's
can
a
come
genuine
back on.
risk, especially because people who usually come from South America after the internationals, they usually have that issue. The traveling itself is hectic
Yeah,
in
it's
itself.
Yeah.
almost 24
Yeah,
hours.
but I would gamble him worst case scenario, I would gamble 20 minutes with him. At least I would bring him in the
Yes.
second half. You know,
Now that is
to
a thing I
feel,
do understand. He can play, and Mugate is a fit player. He's very fit. He can play even the 90 minutes. You see,
because the
but
South Americans are
you know,
like
there's
Africans in a sense.
yes, there's just that risk of what might happen when you play the player way too soon. As in, will it be the same after 3 games? He might not even get injured in that game, but in the next game he will pull a muscle because of the fatigue he will have accumulated from the travel and what. So it's the hectic situation that I am concerned about. But I would love to see Ugarte.
And
I love to see
David,
all my new toys.
David, do you think Ten Hag is going to get his notes straight for the game against Southampton, or he's still going to
Well,
make
he should.
his
He should.
mistakes?
This is
We
one
all
of
think, we always say he should, but he still makes up, those mistakes
this.
when it comes to substitutions, when it comes to lineup and all that. Do you think he's going
Yeah,
to?
but Southampton, the gap in quality is much too great, despite all the errors. We could attribute to him. The gap in quality, according
on
to
paper?
from where I see it, yeah, on paper, it's a little too great. Even if he just dipped into the Colayas and the Tobys, and the Kobe Minos, those are enough to just dismantle Southampton. Southampton is suffering in confidence, right? They have started with very tough fixtures. Inevitably, their confidence is low. They're like they're not exactly an animal because I don't see that type of threat in them, but they are wounded. United wants to. Here's what I think he should do. He should not just go for the 3 points. He should go into that game to lift the confidence in the camp. He should look at around 5, 6 goals if it can
You know,
happen. Put in
it's
as much
Oh my
firepower as
God!
possible. Play
no,
play
he's right.
very, very,
Yes,
very
he's right.
proactively. Yeah,
But we don't
the
Because
have
guy
that
should play
firepower in the. We
you,
don't have that
against
firepower
Josh,
in
you
the
know why I
team.
Southampton.
asked? The reason
Against
No,
why I
you
Southampton.
asked.
see, yes, but we don't have the firepower ourselves.
No,
I mean,
Josh, did you hear what
Ganacho,
David
Matt
just said?
Diallo, and
Against Southampton?
Marcus Rush. Yes, that's who we
Oh,
are.
that's
You see, there's this
embarrassing.
delusion. There's this delusion that a fan can have
I think the
because
first
they're
thing
playing a lesser
Ten Hag needs to
opposition.
find the
They
identity,
don't
Josh.
look at the players that they do have themselves. But if Matt Diallo and Ganacho and Marcus Rashford are the people starting for Man United up front, and Zagzi, there's not so many goals there. And even if the goals are there, there's hope to have goals. But the execution has not been that great. And
Well,
Of
I
course,
don't
there's
know why
parallels.
Isaac. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to make a comparison, and of course, these comparisons are purely for conversation. But these guys just conceded 3 goals, right? Southampton uh, against Brentford, and in as much as we could say that's Brentford, the Premier League is a different thing. But that's how you're supposed to challenge yourself as a top club. If Brentford, still in United's position right now, United is a better team than Brentford. And we expect if you faced Brentford right now, those would be 3 assured points. So Brentford,
exactly.
in their
I
Brentfordness,
agree.
have put 3 goals past Southampton. You want to, at least even if there are limitations, that is what you should tell the troops at your disposal. You should simply just tell them, let's go and dismantle Southampton as best we can. You see, that because it's going to lift the camp. It's going to lift the camp. This criticism against the coach allows doubt to creep in, and it affects the way the players view their boss. These things actually have an
Sure.
effect, and then you start to
Of
see them
course.
stumbling in easier fixtures. So I can't exactly say what will happen, but I would hope that Ten Hag encourages his team to
It would
just
be
go
very
for the kill
ashaming
very early on
for
in
a
the
team.
game.
But you know
it would be
that
very.
Mbuemo and Wisa are more experienced and better finishers than the whole front line of Man United.
Josh,
Just the
also,
two
Including
players.
Rashford.
yeah, Josh,
Yes,
in the same
including
context,
Rashford at the moment. At the
Josh, in the
moment.
same, listen,
But I
in
do
the
hear
same
you,
spirit,
as in that. Mm.
in the same spirit, Newcastle lost against, sorry, Southampton lost against Newcastle. They lost 1-0 again against Nottingham Forest. They lost. David was giving an example, 3-0 3-1, sorry, to Brentford. So you cannot tell me you are that worried of a team that has lost all its first 3 starting teams.
Yeah, but like I
I
just
mean,
told you,
starting games.
like I
The only
just told you, as
one
in,
game EPL Cup, and it was second round on the 28th of August. Is it 5-3?
like I just told you, United is a bit fragile, yeah, and we are not really at it yet.
I'm
So
telling you,
we
those
are
are
yet to see
excuses.
what the players can give us. I know
Those are
that this is a
excuses,
game.
Josh.
This is a game that United should be able to win easily.
Without a
Um,
doubt,
uh,
confidently.
yeah, but you're insisting that if Ugarte doesn't play, Ten Hag should be sacked.
No, I
That's
didn't
what
say
you're
he should be
saying, and
sacked.
what
I
you're
didn't say
saying.
he should be sacked.
No, you
But
didn't have to
see,
say it, but the way you're insisting,
the reason as
will
why I'm
he
saying
make
that
mistakes? Will he
there
make
is
mistakes?
Josh.
Will he
No,
play
will he make the
Casemiro or
same
Ugarte?
mistakes?
I
The
mean,
same mistakes. That's what
yo,
I'm saying. He's made the same mistakes the opening game, although it was a hard
what
win.
mistakes?
The game
What
against
mistakes?
Brighton, you know,
What mistakes?
uh, not that they are not playing so well. But I mean, when it comes to substitutions, the lineup he
What
picks,
substitutions?
and even up to now, United does not have an identity, Josh. For
What
real.
identity? The
So here's the
identity.
thing.
I don't
You
understand
can't.
what.
The
Sorry.
identities, I wouldn't take that too seriously. I think it's a mentality shift that needs to happen at the camp, and unfortunately, mentality is not an easy thing to coach. It is simply that reassurance. Every coach has their language, how they do it. I remember there's a story of a time when Ferguson had to actually walk out of the back room after first half. United was 3 goals down, and he just left it to the captain. He indirectly gave them a message that I cannot even have this conversation with you guys against such a side. Someone needs to have that conversation to lift the mentality of those players. Because Josh, I, I don't care what you think of Rashford. Rashford is not in the caliber of the players at Southampton. He
He's
should know that, at least if he has not been performing that way.
Yeah.
He should know that. And now who is going to
Except it
step
does
in?
not.
Yeah. So someone has to step
You see,
into
that's the
that
problem
back
that
room
we
and
do
tell
have.
them,
Except
talking
it does
yeah,
about
not.
mentality.
Because
yeah, that's
See,
Rashford is a player. Every time I think he's going to score 5 goals in a game, and then he doesn't even have a shot on goal
Josh, but
when the game
on Rashford,
starts.
let me ask you:
You
is
know,
Rashford world class?
no.
Ah, okay.
World
Then
class
we
is
certainly
don't be
agree.
that person, Isaac. Don't be
efficiency.
that
Come
person.
No,
on.
that we agree. On that we
Do
agree.
not be that person.
See, David, you raise a very important issue: mentality. Uh, the game against Netherlands versus German, it ended in a draw. But the leaked had to be subbed off after 45 minutes. Awful display, just like the first game. Josh, I know you're going
No,
to come out swinging. I told you,
no.
Josh, you
Awful,
made the same
awful
mistakes.
display.
Did you
What
see what Common
mistakes?
say? Common say, or you're going to say he's also
Ah,
biased?
Coman is a shot. As in, actually, we are where we are because of the manager that we have.
so
Coman
so
is a shot.
Yeah, I'm saying
we were
mentally anyway,
having
that
that
is not good for
conversation
the league.
earlier. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember in one of the previous the past podcasts we talked about we talked about confidence extensively, and that's the thing with confidence. That mentality will actually transfer to different environments as well. This is a player
True.
who has been in the last 3 or 4 clubs he's been at, apart from Ajax. They've been in some kind of transition. Either he's
Yes.
coming in a crisis. He hasn't enjoyed that stability. And he's coming to United, same exact thing.
No,
So
actually,
it transfers to
United, he
Netherlands.
might have a chance. United, he might have a chance to have stability. What happens is at Netherlands, he goes. Coman is given the job, and Coman writes off this player. The whole of Netherlands does not understand why Coman writes off a player who was a captain at Ajax at 17 years old. He's just 24 years old. He's the future of the Dutch team in the backside. As in this. Virgil van Dijk is 30 years old. So why not keep the league toward being in part of the setup? Leave him in the squad. He refuses to take him for the Euros. He excludes him from the Euro squad, and that stability you're talking about, it's not there even with the national team. because he's not Coleman's player. Coleman doesn't believe that he's comfortable enough to play for him. So that is why you see the things that you see in the game against Bosnia. I mean, I know they inflated the mistake, that there was a mistake. Actually, the keeper Verbruggen and De Ligt miscommunicated, which is a thing that happens when a player is in a fragile position. But I thought he played that game very well, so they scored a goal in this game. I liked the fact that
But you saw when
for
he
the
was
first
subbed
goal of
off.
Denise Undav, the goal that he scored after De Ligt made a blind pass. I like that he was attempting to break lines with that pass. It's not like he slept on the job, like one time. Okay, sorry to say Maguire. It's not like Maguire when he slept on the job
Oh,
and just
Tyler,
didn't
he's a
do his
favorite.
job.
He's a
He
favorite to
just
start
passed.
now.
Yeah, let him start. No worries. But I know that will
I
be
think
Eric
yeah, I
Ten
think
Hag
he should
mistake.
start this one.
Who, Maguire?
David, you also agree, Maguire?
No, delete. I think he should. This is also a game for him, the Southampton game.
Yeah, me, I cannot even think about Maguire when I have De Ligt and Lisandro Martinez. But the problem is Martinez is also a guy who is coming back from
Josh, it's not only
Argentina.
Manchester United that has players playing, coming back from the international
South
break
America.
and all
I'm
coming from
talking
South
about
America.
South America, and you'll see
Yeah,
how
it's
the
not only Man
managers will
United.
use those players. You will see how the
Okay,
managers will use those players.
Josh,
It's
give me
just that
real
at
quick.
United, you have no choice. Those are the players
Your
that you have, and you want to play them.
your
But
predicted
the thing
lineup.
I don't like, about Eric Ten Hag's substitution is to pull off a defender, because
When they are playing so good.
I never like a center back to be pulled off. I mean, you just bring on one center back, because a center back never plays well by themselves. It's the partnership that plays well. So if Lisandro Martinez was playing well with De Ligt, if you introduce Maguire 20 minutes left, I don't think they'll be the same players. They might
Uh,
just get a miscommunication here and there.
Josh, your predicted lineup against Southampton?
Mine, or the one I predict Ten Hag will play.
Yours. Okay, whichever you want to put it, yours or the one you predict, but the lineup that you wish. No, actually, the lineup that you think Ten Hag will play. Yeah, predicted lineup.
Onana in goal.
Yeah.
Dallo at right back. Mazraoui at left back. Sorry, Dallo at left back. Mazraoui at right back. He'll play Maguire and Lisandro Martinez. He'll play Casemiro. He'll play Kobe Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Marcus Rashford, and Joshua Zagzi.
Oh, by the way, Dutch fans are not happy yesterday. I saw them complaining why Joshua started from the bench. They wanted him to start the game. Yeah, David, you want to chip in, or I wait for you? Yeah, predicted lineup.
No,
the one that you think Ten Hag will start.
Yeah, straight away, I don't think the back line will change. I think Onana in goal, the usual people behind. I think in center halves will be Maguire, because the coach prefers that, and Martinez. And then in midfield, that's where I think the trick will be.
Tricky.
Casemiro may start this because the game does not exactly present any challenges. Bruno Fernandes will be in there. Kobe Mainu will be in there. Then at the front, I expect to see Rashford. I expect to see Diallo. I expect to see Joshua Zagsi.
Again, I would so much love. I would love to have the boys Amad Diallo from the right and Garnacho starting from the left. I would love to see that. Rashford benched. The rest doesn't change.
You want to start Casemiro?
Oh God! Did I say no? No, Casemiro. Ugarte
said
comes.
The rest doesn't change.
Ugarte comes in. Maybe De Ligt. But anyway, he needs game time, to pull back his confidence. And I didn't like what Coman said, in public. In
Mine would
fact,
have a
see,
is
Coman
a
did say
shot.
some.
Koeman is a shot.
He
Koeman
did
is
say
a
some
shot.
funny words also against forgetting the player who crossed over and went to Saudi Arabia. But the player also retaliated and said, "I don't care." Yeah,
Bagwine.
he was like,
As
"It's
in
not
Spain just
respectful. He
called the
would have
player.
called me."
Spain just called the player out of Mars, and the player had a very good game in that 4-2
You
win.
know.
I've forgotten the player's name. I mean, this guy plays from nowhere, but he came and played for the national team, and he played well.
Anyway, yeah, that's it
And
for
then
Man
there
United.
you have this shot talking about Bagwine in that manner.
Yeah, let's look at Adieri. Adieri, it's been a while. Hi, Josh, Isaac, and David. How are you? Paul Mitchell and Eddie Howe for Newcastle United. Darren Eagles out of Newcastle. Sack Darren Eagles. Bring back Amanda Pip, bro. Amanda. Everyone misses Amanda. There were rumors that they would buy shares back into Newcastle. Then we see, again, he's saying, hi, Josh, David, and Isaac. How are you? Jonathan David signed. I don't see that happening. I mean, the Canadian player, he's talking about the Canadian player who plays for Lille. I don't see that happening. But, well, that was the preview. Southampton versus Manchester United. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Sports Jazz, Isaac, Josh, and David. We're looking at Liverpool right now. I mean, barely registered injuries. It looks like Diaz. I mean, their players, Gravenbach has picked up. At some point, I could say it looks like he's excelling more under Ancelotti compared to Klopp. I mean, I know it's just 3 games, but
What do you mean? He was a flop last season, so he's
that's
not
what
even
I'm trying to
excelling
say.
more. As in,
No,
he's
it's
just
like
been
he has
reborn.
revived him. It's like he has revived
Hey.
him. That's what I'm saying. Again, under Ancelotti is doing so well, guys. Real quick, the game between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. David, a walkover, swift, simple win.
I don't see why Liverpool should have any challenges in that game. I sincerely don't see why Liverpool should. They're not going to struggle at all. Salah even scored on international duty. He's going to pick up where he left. Their team does not have any injuries I've had from the internationals. I think they're just good to go.
They're
Just
ready
a
to
doubt
fire.
of Konate, but he's good now.
Yeah, just a doubt.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Earlier there was.
Or maybe Diogo Jota's confidence could have been a little bit shaky because this time he played for Portugal. He got a few minutes for Portugal and actually never got on the score sheet because he's the type of player who gets 10 minutes and gets on the score sheet for Portugal. I mean,
I don't think
he scores all the time. That might just give him some hunger going into this game. But I've labored to explain, games after the international break are not that easy. I know Liverpool will win this one, but it won't be a high scoring game.
Josh, man, I like your confidence.
Although I wonder whether Ancelotti could switch things up a bit, just to give some of his key players rest.
It's just 3 games into the season. He will.
I hope he doesn't.
Any manager, you see, with the schedule coming up right now after the international break, a manager would be extremely stupid to not rest his players, not to use his better players in. If you're playing Nottingham Forest at home and you've had this international break, and Salah is from Egypt and Diaz is from Colombia and stuff like that, and Harvey Elliott got injured. That's the player I was going to say you bring on, but you can have the Curtis Jones of this world come and play that game, and Liverpool will still win that game. But your better players have at least had a bit of a rest, because the Champions League is going to come quick and fast, and from there on, the season just gets a bit tougher, and the opposition gets a bit tougher. So he will be tested. He will be tested if he does not really rest these players. You can give Endo Wataru this game and Gravenbach.
Even people like Chiesa. I would like to see
Yes,
Oh,
Chiesa in this
you
yeah.
one. I
yeah
mean,
you
By the
can
way,
see
he
bring
didn't
graphics.
Federico
participate over the
Chiesa in.
weekend, so he was rested. Darwin Nunes also had a ban the other side, so he didn't play. So
I
yeah, he
would
has
like to
Yeah,
players
see
in
let
the
Nunes
team.
players
start
like that
this.
play. But then there's also the thing that they have some bit of momentum. So you would not want to change a winning side. You know, he would want to have the same people still pushing for Liverpool to win things.
I was happy to see Trent playing in his preferred position on England. You know, that was really good. And everyone was wondering what was Southgate doing playing this midfield. He played so well. I
No,
liked
It
first of
already
all,
feels
before
like,
you even
it.
sorry,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Josh.
David.
before you even before you even think talk about Southgate, that people were wondering why he was playing him in midfield. I was wondering why Southgate was not selecting Trent Alexander-Arnold to play for
It was
England,
weird. I know.
because he was the best
Yeah.
right back in England. I just do not, as in, I did not understand. You cannot tell me. You see, the moment a manager starts to say things like he's looking for Calvin Phillips, he doesn't have Calvin Phillips. You know, you just know that this guy is another Coleman, because you can't tell
Coleman
me that
still
I don't
catching
know how to
strays.
play that I don't know how to play Trent Alexander-Arnold. That he's what? He's what? Klopp has just showed you for like 5 years how you can use Trent Alexander-Arnold, the best of his abilities, and he will give you
It was a
just
shame,
about
a huge shame.
yeah.
And I'm so happy you could see he's revived. He likes what he's doing. And yeah, so Josh, your preferred lineup? Oh, Josh, we didn't even talk about the score, but we shall later. Preferred lineup? Is it going to change anything? I personally, I think he's not really
Yeah,
going
I
to
think
change
he will
anything.
give. I think he will give a few players some bit of rest, or they start the game and they are pulled off after say 60 minutes. But it should be more of the same. I think for any wise manager, the players who are left back home and they were well rested should be the players that start the game. Federico Chiesa is very capable. He can slot in for Salah, and Salah comes off the bench. Endo Wataru is equally a good player. He can come and slot in for Gravenberch. But at the moment, it is very difficult for Gravenberch to leave that side. Any other player would leave that side, and the midfield will remain the same. Maybe Endo Wataru will play with Gravenberch, who was in Europe, and McAllister will be the one who is rested.
David, any changes you think, or it's
Yeah, I have the same feeling about Liverpool. As much as they're going to be inevitable in this one, I
yeah,
think it's important for managers to recognize that these players who have stayed behind, especially during the international break, one of the easiest and quickest ways to really lift their confidence and also their trust in whatever is happening at the club is to slot them in during circumstances like this. I completely agree with what Josh was saying, especially now when you look at the front. Chiesa is top rate. He shouldn't sit for long. He should just come in this one. This is easy opposition. They can already see that they're going to take this game. I'll bring him on probably with Jota and like Darwin Nunes or something like that. Rest Salah for the tougher fixtures. Midfield, I also don't see Ryan Gravenberch shifting. He's been the linchpin for a while now, and he's just hitting new heights with every game. So I'd probably leave him, but I would throw in Wataru. In as much as Wataru has a he does not conform to the style, or at least that's what it looks like on the surface of it. But these are players that you can bring in. Wataru,
David. Well, yeah, that was David trying to explain. Yeah, just real quick, your prediction against Liverpool, rather, yeah, Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest.
Um, 2-0 or
2-0.
1-0. Narrow win for Liverpool. Narrow win for
Uh,
Liverpool.
if he doesn't play around and thinks a lot, tries to change his 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 lineup. I think it's a 3-0 win for Liverpool. Very easy, very easy. Anyway, once again, guys, Sports Jazz, Isaac, Josh, and David. Let's go. Uh, Usually they would say the main guest, but it's not. I mean, let's go to the main event as far as the Premier League is concerned over the weekend, and that is Arsenal versus, in other words, Tottenham hosting Arsenal at. I mean, it's a London derby, heated, very intense. There's a lot of emotions. The feelings are high. Josh, I mean, but we see Spurs. I mean, according to their last game, they were in good, good spirits. They won. I think they won 4-0. Was it their last game? Then we also have Arsenal, of course, who have been winning. They're playing so good. Uh, well, match is coming. It, as I've said, always heated. Tottenham versus Arsenal on Sunday. Josh, walk us through the game. I mean, what do we expect? And by the way, there's news of Timber playing. There's news of who is Calafiori featuring. There's so Arsenal fans shouldn't be really alarmed. Apart from Odegaard and Declan Rice, who's serving a ban. Yeah, just give it to us. Oh, sorry. This was Peace alias calling it for Liverpool winning. Liverpool
Yeah.
winning. Liverpool winning over the weekend. She called it 3-0. Josh, yeah, once again, sorry guys, once again, Tottenham versus Arsenal, Sports Jazz. Josh, let's have a conversation. Is Arsenal beating Tottenham?
Well, this is a North London derby, and in a derby, there are very many things that can happen. Even the simple fact that the PGMOL and the Premier League have decided for Arsenal to change their shirts to their away kits, which are black, because of the a lot of white in their home kit. That could even just tilt the game, because there's just things around it. We used to seeing Arsenal playing away at Spurs in the red, but this time they will be in the black. Anyhow, for the game proper, Arsenal's players have come back. The injury concern of Ricardo Calafiori is not as serious as first feared. The real problem, though, has been Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard. But Arsenal fans should not be so worried, because you have a capable player in Zinchenko, who can slot in for Martin Odegaard. He played for Ukraine in the 3-2 game they lost, but he played that role. He played in midfield, and is a much more capable player to replace Martin Odegaard. And Kai Havertz is another option that you can have in midfield. But the problem I would have with that as a neutral is a player like Kai Havertz in this moment is among the best informed players around the whole league. So I wouldn't want him to be destabilized from that position, because he's so comfortable playing up front. Why would he be brought in midfield? You might lose something there. The Declan Rice, you have Jorginho. If you're not willing to play Jorginho, Jurriën Timber is a guy that Arteta
Timber is
and
also coming back.
himself talked about playing in midfield. So maybe he'll be the guy who plays in midfield, because he has more legs than say Jorginho. But Jorginho has the experience to understand the nature of the game. And then Spurs will have Sa and Yves Bissouma. coming back from international duty, all the way from Africa. So you don't know yet the shape that they'll be in, but it's
Yes.
poised to be a very good encounter, given that Ange Postecoglou knows one way to play is to attack, and play a high line. Actually, Arsenal should not fear a lot, because Mickey van der Ven, he's not even going to play the game because he's had an injury. He's had a back
Mm.
injury. I don't know yet if he will be fit. And Ateta will give us news on Friday in his presser on the availability of the players that got knocks here and there during the international break.
All
Yeah,
right.
but
Thank you.
that's it. Spurs is so Spursy.
Yeah, David. We're looking at Spurs that have played 3 games, won, drew one, and lost one. By the way, their last game was against Newcastle on 1st September, where they lost 2-1. Then the 4-0 game that I was talking about was against Everton, where they won comfortably 4-0. In the opening game on 19th August, that was against Leicester City, 1-1, a game where uh, Jamie Vardy had a very, very good game. So, David, you walk into the game on Sunday, you walk into the London Derby as the Giants, as the dominants. So, are you still reigning over? Is that going to be changed? Should we expect any upsets? Because as I've showed you here, I see Newcastle doesn't really have a good run. 3 games, one lost, one won, and one drew. And for you, I think you've had a very you have 7 points, correct? You have 7 points, 3 won,
Yeah.
one drew. Um, what's your take?
Yeah, I totally believe Arsenal is going to exert itself in this fixture.
Yeah,
Even when you look at last season, when we put 3 goals past them, we had a weakened side because I mean
I
the
agree.
the
I
the
agree.
thinking might be to you know to doubt Arsenal's capacity to get past this side because of the issues we have in the squad, especially a key player like Odegaard missing. It is something that you don't want, and he's usually played some of his best games
And he's
against
going to be
Spurs.
out for so
But
long.
nevertheless, yeah, he's going to be out. But we still have it in us. We have enough to get past them. The only issue is how we resolve our midfield conundrum in the absence of Rice. However, that notwithstanding, I don't see where Spurs could cause us problems. The
I don't.
back is, of course, still solid. That's the one place that
Mm,
could have been an issue. If we were missing any key people at the back, that would be an issue. But if we don't have Rice in midfield, we still have more than capable options. I mean, to play past Spurs. Although I expect us to change our approach a little bit for this particular game, because as inconsistent as Spurs have been this season, they have shown a great affinity towards holding onto the game. And that's no, I mean, holding on to the holding possession,
they've
hogging possession.
they've
So
played
you
better
see,
than Joshi's United.
yeah, they have been playing very, very proactively. So I expect that maybe spit it out, Josh.
David, Josh, your mic is muted. Josh, David, carry on.
Carry
Yeah,
on,
Yeah.
David. I'll hold it.
So I expect us to get past them really. They look a bit more proactive than they've been in the past. I mean, than they were last season, especially in the last 3 games that they have played. But also, coincidentally, Arsenal has changed its approach in the last 3 games. Especially whenever we have faced a side that is willing to bring the game to us, like Brighton. Arsenal is willing to adapt and just sit back and then hit them on the break. So now we have people like Sterling. We can play that game even more capably than we did against Brighton. So
I actually
I
think you
don't
should
see
start with
much
his
in the
feet.
way of an obstacle for us.
Yeah, I also don't
I,
think
I, I look
it's an
forward to
issue.
seeing him in that particular game.
I see Sinan being a Manchester United fan is a hater. He says it's going to be a draw for Arsenal versus Tottenham. Sinan, you just can't help it.
Wishful
You're like
thinking.
Josh. You just can't
Yeah,
help at
but
least
I
for
agree
that
with
one
him, and
time.
I
You
see
see,
actually
David.
Son winning the game because Arsenal has won so many of these games against Spurs. So it is about time for Spurs to be Spursy and upset the odds and change things here and there.
No, I don't. I think Arsenal washing. They are going to 100%, regardless of the setback in the midfield. Odegaard being off, injured. Declan Rice. I think they
You
still have
know,
the artillery.
I've seen Thomas Partey. I've seen players mop the floor with Thomas Partey in every game this season.
Just we
Every
are just
game.
three season
And
into the
those,
game, 3 games into
yes,
the season.
in all the three games, like midfielders have mopped the floor with him, and they're not the fastest. Now you have Tottenham Hotspurs that has just runners. It
Anyway,
may
Yeah. So
just be
in
a
the
very
last
long
game,
night for him.
last season, when we last played, yeah, it's true, Josh, what you say. Party has been a bit erratic in the last 3 games, and we've seen him making some, amateur type errors and
Yeah.
almost giving us away. But I expect that he's now put in 3 games, and he should be, up to it at this point in the season. But also last season, I remember we played with Tomiyasu in the side and Trossard. Trossard is slow. For a game like Spurs, you need quickness. Tomiyasu lacked sharpness. So even when we conceded 2 goals, we still had it in us to put 3 past them. In this particular game, we don't have any defensive issues because even Calafiori, in as much as we don't exactly perceive him as a starter, he's available to be selected for this particular fixture. But then Spurs wanting to hog the ball as we expect that they will do. Think of a scenario where we have Raheem Sterling walking into Odegaard's position, and we have been playing on the break this season. I just see disaster for Spurs. You see,
Oh man,
Saka will remain
this
Saka.
Raheem
I
Martinelli
Sterling.
will
like the
remain
Raheem
Martinelli.
continuity,
Sterling
Josh.
changes
It can
everything.
just be too electric. Yeah, it can just be too electric for Spurs. And their guys, their best guys, the combative Papesa and what's the other guy's name?
Yves Bissouma.
Bisuma. Uh, After they return, we don't know how they will behave, So
Yeah.
of course they will have a bit of that exhaustion. Sterling is fresh. He's been training really well. He's been
Very
sharp in the
fresh.
training sessions. We've been
Yeah,
seeing him. Yeah. So it just looks like a game. The 3 points are just there for the taking.
I agree. By the looking
For
at
either
look,
side.
no, Arsenal is smashing. Come on, they are winning this. Trust me, they are going to go to Spurs. They are
Raheem
going to
Sterling,
make.
Raheem
They are
Sterling
going to make them
changes.
up their own flow.
Raheem Sterling changes fortunes for Arsenal because he has the experience, he has the quality, and he's the type of player who can play these sort of games that Arteta is planning to set up. Arteta these days plays with so many defenders on the pitch. He might just play with so many defenders at the back and wait for Raheem Sterling to break, and Raheem Sterling just runs rugged and beats that high line. And Arsenal is already a goal up. I think if Raheem Sterling starts this game, he scores on his debut.
Yeah, man, you're giving me flowers already. Jorginho
No,
earlier
no,
said
he's
Josh, when asked about Arsenal signing Raheem Sterling, his comments were, when you see there is a player that you know and you've played together, you know the qualities already, you feel like, okay, I know how to give him the ball already, so you are already ahead. You don't need to get to know him. I think that explains why if Sterling starts on Sunday, it will be a very huge plus for Arsenal. Also, we are looking at the next 3 fixtures, bro. We have Arsenal is playing, of course, Tottenham versus Arsenal over the weekend, 15th September. Then on Thursday, they'll be playing Atlanta. Atlanta is not an easy team. It's not an easy team. Then over the weekend, they'll be playing against Man City away. You get it? They'll be playing against Man City away, which is also not an easy game. So for Arsenal losing
don't
one of the
overemphasize Man
no,
City.
I'm just
Arsenal
saying
took 4 points off Man
no.
City last season. As in, they will defend. He even
I
bought
didn't
more
finish,
defenders
Josh.
for
I
him.
didn't. I was saying for Arsenal losing their most important player ahead of a crucial run with games versus City versus Tottenham. I mean, it's on the other hand, it's a bit worrying. But yeah,
But
it's
Mikel
going to be an
Merino
easy
will
one.
be back for by the time they play Man City. Mikel Merino will be back, so they will have some players back in midfield. Or that is not a debut you want Mikel Merino to have.
But
So
you
you
do not
see,
rate Merino so high, Josh.
No, I'm just talking
what
about the
Arsenal does.
midfielders at Arsenal who will be available, who are proper midfielders than the makeshift that they're going to do. Declan Rice is just missing one game. He's going to
Mm.
be back after the Spurs game. So I mean, it's only Martin Odegaard, and Martin Odegaard for me, the solution is there in the squad. There's Zinchenko. I wouldn't move Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is having. He's in the form of his life. I mean, he's not scoring as many
He's in
goals as
a very hot form.
Erling Haaland is scoring, but that's not what he would do. He's playing very well up front as a false nine, so I would leave him there. I would place Zinchenko in place of Martin Odegaard. If Mikel Merino is back, I can slot in Mikel Merino in that same position. For this Spurs game, I think either of Jurien Timber or Jorginho, whomever Ateta prefers, should be able to play the game. But personally, I would prefer Jurien Timber because he looks like he has more grit. Though
Yeah.
it's not a position that he has played regularly, so it's a difficult one.
But Merino, I don't think Merino is coming back very soon. If I remember, he was rolled out for approximately 2 months, so I don't think
Won't a
he'll be
month
coming.
have ended?
2 months. I don't think he'll be coming back very soon. But at least I know
Yeah,
Timber.
2 months from when the season started, right?
No, from when he got
2 months
injured.
from when the season started. So by the time they play Man City,
No,
he
he will
got
not be back.
injured a week into the season, right?
No. They bought him after the season
Okay.
had begun, I think, if I remember. Yeah, because I remember. But anyway, yeah. So I do think,
So so
yeah, David.
for Jorginho, I still want to go back to the that fixture where he just gave it away with an error, with an errant pass. I don't think this is his favorite fixture, but also
Yeah.
stylistically, uh, we don't expect that Spurs is going to let us have the ball and then task us to open them up. That's where you need Jorginho when the game is slower and more compact. I don't see Jorginho featuring in this one. It's true what you say about Jurien Timber, Josh. He's had an amazing international break where he's truly showed that he can actually play. In the highest quality games, he's had. He's strong. He's combative enough for a tie-like fixture, especially knowing that uh, Spurs has a very combative midfield, strong players who are not afraid to put in a shift. I totally see Jurien Timber thriving in that one, alongside Thomas Partey. I hope that's what the coach goes for.
Okay, David, give me your predicted lineup. I know you were it's trying to say who should start. Give me your predicted lineup.
Yeah, same backline. Raya, and then White, Willie, Gabi, Zini at the back. But Zini might give way for Calafiori, knowing that he's defensively suspect. We expect to do some defensing in this particular game. In midfield, I totally see Partey rocking that midfield with Jurien Timber. Then further ahead, I see uh, Kai Havas dropping in midfield,
Yeah,
yeah, Kai Havas dropping in midfield. We have Jesus at the top. Side by side, I see any one of Sterling, Saka, or Martinelli. Leandro will come off the bench.
that's it.
Yep.
Josh. I mean, I asked him. That's it. Like no changes, no nothing. How about you? Try to force yourself. I know you don't wish them good. Try to force yourself. You have a predicted lineup. Sorry, sorry,
What the
sorry,
hell
Josh.
are
Yeah.
you talking about? But the thing is, for me, I would just play
Yeah,
Jurien
man
Timber
full of violence.
for
Yeah,
Declan Rice. I'll play
yeah.
Jurien Timber for Declan Rice. That's the position that we have to deal with. Then
Mm.
I would play
Totally.
Calafiori at the back, because and Ateta likes to play defenders. So I agree with David. I'll play Calafiori at left back. Then for Martin Odegaard, I would play Zinchenko.
Wow. Okay.
I've not seen Leandro Trossard play in the middle of the pitch,
Yo,
so
by
I
the
don't know
way,
how we would fare. So I would rather have
Arsenal
someone
shouldn't be
that I know
worried.
has the
They have firepower. They
Zinchenko
should not
has
be
the
worried.
skill set to play there. In my opinion, better than Leandro Trossard. So
But yo,
I would play Zini there and Calafiori at the back and Jurien Timber.
once again, you say your wing, right wing, and left. You
Bukayo
have Saka
Saka
and
and
Raheem Sterling.
Martin in oh sorry, yeah, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
But
Okay. That's okay.
Martinelli was also he remained. He didn't go, but I
Yeah, yeah.
would
He didn't.
still
But
play Sterling.
yeah, Sterling. I think he's
Yeah,
built for those
Bukayo Saka
games.
and Sterling.
Bukayo Saka would play so
Bukayo
nice.
Sterling, Havertz, Bukayo Saka. Then
Considering Martinelli has been struggling.
Very struggling,
yes,
by the way.
then I would play Zini for Odegaard and Jurien Timber for Declan Rice.
Your prediction,
Then
John?
maybe
Score, sorry.
hope that Arsenal gets a red card, because Timber will not he will not go slow on those kids running around him. Just kick
Josh,
them.
your prediction?
Whoa, it's a tough one. I see a
Let me
draw. I
help you.
see a
3-0
draw.
for me. Arsenal to win 3-0.
Oh my God.
Seriously, I'm serious.
Are you out of your
There's nothing
mind?
Tottenham is going to do. We've seen this script, regardless of whether Arsenal. And by the
Yeah.
way, there are not even too many players that are injured. Not too many. Only Declan Rice. Okay, yes, of course, Merino won't feature. Odegaard, the captain, won't feature. But I know Jurien Timber is going to feature. Calafiori will be there. You have Saliba. You
For
have a
that
wall
reason, I'll
in.
give it to Spurs. Because of your prediction, I'll give it to Spurs.
David. David, your prediction?
Oh, good. 3-1. 3-1 to
3-1.
Arsenal.
Okay. Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
we are close. Where is Nick today? Nick, we've missed you today.
I know,
your
we need your prediction.
Yeah. Nick,
We've missed
Kaji,
Nick.
you're a Liverpool fan. We missed you. You missed your prediction today. Sinan, you didn't tell me, but you didn't share with us. The scoreline between earlier on. Southampton and Man United.
Spurs
But
said a draw.
Spurs said a draw. Now, against Southampton and Man United.
He's
But,
a sober United fan, so he's trading carefully. He knows.
Thank you so much, everyone that has been tuned in with us. It's been a long 1
2-0.
hour. Beautiful interaction. Yeah, David, you're giving it. You already say 3-1.
2-1 to United.
2-1
to United
Josh.
against Southampton.
Josh?
We shall win.
No, the score, of course. Okay, come on. You're even not
We
certain.
shall win.
2-0 for
I'm
United.
telling you, we are going
United.
to win the game. You're going to be shocked.
Thank you once again, Sports Jazz. Keep subscribing, like, and share our videos. David, Isaac, Josh, tomorrow again, same time. Thank you so much for whoever's been tuned in. Keep the love, keep subscribing. Let's make 3,500 at least before the end of this month. That would really, really mean a lot. And again, do not stop hitting the like and share button, guys. Share buttons. Watch once again. Sports Jazz, we are signing out. Adios.